It happens to us all. We hit a run of bad luck where surviving a raid seems like an impossible feat. You get to the point where loading into a raid with another 200k loadout might just wipe you out. When that happens, you need to go budget. This budget loadout is unlike the ones you might have seen uploaded to this channel previously. It goes even harder. Before we start, have you got a favourite loadout you run when money is short? Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to reading them. I've been sat on this idea for a while and finally made the decision when I ended up running out of money myself. I've been playing with a variation of this kit for the past few days and I think I found the sweet spot between having enough gear and keeping it cheap. Let's break this loadout down. As the title of the video suggests, this loadout can be purchased directly from level 1 traders. You will have to complete the acquaintance mission in order to unlock Jaeger, who is a big part of this loadout. First of all, we're going to need some meds. There's already some tough decisions to make here. I've gone for basic med supplies of 1 AI2, 1 bandage and 1 splint. These meds give you enough to cover the basics. I haven't put anything in here for heavy bleeds and that's for good reason. I'll explain why and how this kit should be played after listing off the items themselves. Next up, we're going to need a weapon and some ammo. I played around with a few different budget guns here, including the VPO-215 and even the TOS, but came to the conclusion that I had the most success with the Glock 17 with a spare magazine from Mechanic, using 35 rounds of 9x19 PSO ammo picked up from Jaeger. And for the armour and rig, I opted for the SSH helmet and bank robber rig, both from Ragman. All of these items cost a combined 65,507 rubles and an additional 7,300 to insure, which is definitely going to be worth it as nobody's going to be interested in this kit, so you'll get it back every time. So that's the kit and how much it's going to cost. Let's talk about how you should be playing this kit and the reasons behind some of the choices I've made here. First of all, I'd like to touch on the meds. We have basic supplies, but in my view we don't need a heavy bleed stopper. The main reason for this is scavs almost always carry them and it's really not necessary. Sure, they only add another 2k to the build, but if you're playing this build carefully, they can easily be picked up almost instantly. You'll also want to be keeping an eye out for med bags and med cases to continue to build up your medical supplies for that raid with things like salewers, painkillers and surgical kits. As I mentioned before, when it comes to weapons, I see nothing wrong with going for a TOS and an extra mag of ammo if that suits you better. You will half the price of your weapons and ammo, and as long as you're quick on the draw, you should be able to drop the first scav you see and grab their weapon, which is ultimately the goal of this kit. I still recommend the SSH helmet due to scav AI being a nightmare to deal with sometimes. I think going in with some head protection is vital, though if you wanted to go for the coal pack and make this build even cheaper while you're sacrificing some hearing, I don't see an issue with this. The bank robber rig here is included as there is a threshold where you may end up tagged and cursed, and this seemed to stop that from happening to me. Plus, it's extra room for storage and is dirt cheap at 10k. Tagged and cursed basically means that scavs will rush straight towards a player, effectively giving them the ability to see through walls. The idea here was to avoid players entering raids with just a hatchet and their secure containers and vacuuming up loot, then dying and selling it. As long as you take in enough gear with you, this isn't really a concern. Of course, it goes without saying here that this kit is not for PvP. The last thing you want to be doing with this kit is running into another player. If they can hit you centre mass, you're done for. Try and stay away from high traffic areas as much as possible and kill a couple of scavs to grab their armour and a better weapon. Just bear in mind that scav weapons are much more likely to jam, so a single shot weapon is usually your best option, and try to keep any combatants at a distance whenever you secure a weapon, such as a 366 VPO or a Mosin. And that about covers it. I created this kit due to my own frustrations about dying repeatedly, but it ended up being quite a fun challenge and I even shared some of that challenge on my stream, of which there is a VOD uploaded to the channel now. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.